down as we go, or I can email you that information. Okay.
We're radar and just email it to us. I'm Patrick.
I'm there from the ministry to start the crowd. I thought I was. Let's check, because then Tony takes Yes.
I have it on my calendar, fiscal court. You're early. He sent it to you. Blame it on him. It's all his.
All right, we'll call this meeting of the Woodford County Fiscal Court to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Squire Taylor.
Here.
Squire Gentry.
Here.
Squire Barnard.
Here.
Squire Carl.
Here.
Squire Downey.
Here.
Squire Blackford.
Present.
Squire Gill.
Here.
Squire Brown.
Offering our invocation tonight is Reverend Hannah McIntyre of Fiscal Presbyterian Church.
Thank you, Judge Kay.
Thank you.
Let's take a moment to silence and center ourselves. Spirit of wisdom and compassion, we gather today as servants of the people of Woodford County, entrusted with the responsibility of guiding this community with integrity, fairness, and care. We thank you for the opportunity to serve our community, and as we ask for wisdom in the decisions we make today, give us clarity of mind, integrity of heart, and unity of spirit. As we consider the needs of our county and the people who call it home, guide our conversations, that they may be marked by mutual respect, patience, and a sincere desire to do what is right and just for all who call this place home. Bless the people of Woodford County, those who are seen and those who are often overlooked. May our decisions reflect a commitment to their well-being, safety, and dignity. Grant us the courage to face hard choices, the foresight to plan wisely, and the compassion to remember that policy affects all people. Help us to be good stewards of the resources entrusted to us, thoughtful in planning, fair in judgment, and compassionate in action. Where there is disagreement, grant us respect. Where there is challenge, grant us perseverance. Where there is uncertainty, grant us discernment. May this court be a place where honesty leads, service prevails, and compassion is always our aim. Bless each person in this room, those who lead, those who serve, and those who speak, as we work together for the common good. May all that we do here today bring honor to you and benefit to our community. Amen.
If you're able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Does anybody have a public comment? Anybody wishing to address the court or the public? Seeing none, we'll move on to the approval of the special meeting minutes and regular meeting minutes of May 27. Are there any additions or corrections or questions on those minutes? Seeing none, are there any objections to approving those minutes as presented? Also seeing none, we will approve the minutes without objection. Moving on to our committee reports. The Committee of the Whole met prior hereto, and we took up several items, one being a personnel matter to approve comp time for our department heads for work that they did during April in flood response, and that motion carried unanimously. We also had a Brief budget discussion with the Chief of the Versailles Police, Rob Young. And then we had a special recognition, and we got some great photos for you, Mr. Woodford's son, for the state champion middle school girls track team, which was really awesome. They are an impressive group of young athletes in Woodford County, and it was great to honor them. We also approved their request for the Back the Track event. That motion approved unanimously, and that is August 15th. And we'll have more information for the court. We did decide to move the executive session to later in the meeting, so we'll take that up on down the road. But that was the sum of the committee report of the Committee of the Whole that met prior here too. Moving on to reports. Madam Treasurer, your report, please.
Tonight's balance is $15,608,326.28. Does anybody have any questions?
Anybody have any questions for the treasurer?
Also, I wanted to report that we got another refund from the PVA's office in the amount of $43,020.70. And lastly, I wanted to ask for a motion to sign the exchange of information agreements between the fiscal court, the tax administrator's office, and the state, so that we can, it's between us and the Department of Revenue.
Is there a motion to approve that exchange of information agreement with the state as presented? Motion by Squire Carl, second by Squire Brown. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. Anybody have any questions for the treasurer? I'd just like to emphasize that we really appreciate our PVA, John Paul Coyle, returning funds to the fiscal court in excess of $43,000 for the fiscal year. That's a big deal. It definitely helps with expenses and for us to continue to go into our next budget year. Thank you. We have Sue Finney here for the Huntertown Community Interpretive Park. It's getting to be a really, really important week for the Interpretive Park with Juneteenth coming up. We welcome you to talk a little bit about that as also part of your request. But my understanding is, Sue, that we need to approve the application for the Recreational Trails Grant for the park and adopt Resolution 2025-04, which reserves a 20% match of the proposed project cost, which has been before the fiscal court. So we need a motion to approve the application first.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Gill, second by Squire Blackford. Are there any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Then we need to adopt Resolution 2025-4. Is there a motion to adopt same? Motion by Squire Gill, second by Squire Blackford. All those in favor of adopting said resolution, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries. And we also need to adopt Resolution 2025-5, authorizing the application for the Government Resources Accelerating Needed Transformation Grant, the grant, for up to $47,500 in funds from the Cabinet for Economic Development to be used towards the Huntertown Community Interpretive Park. Motion to adopt said resolution. Motion by Squire Gill, second by Squire Blackford. Seeing no questions, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. So that's the business we had before you.
And for once, I'm here to save you money with those two grants, so because that's a good thing. I do have, well, first of all, we are coming up on Juneteenth next week, next Thursday, and shameless plug, We'll be having our Juneteenth celebration at Holly Hill Inn again this year, our fundraiser, and we're thankful for the support of many of you in this room, and there's still tickets available. It's going to be a great evening, live jazz, a chance to win a piece of Triple Crown history off the neck of American Pharaoh. Some things, not win, but bid on, let's put it that way. So anyway, just want to make sure people know of that. But the other thing I want to, there's also a big Juneteenth celebration on Friday night down at the district, a great festival being put on by Chantel Bingham and that whole group from Versailles that's doing this great event with Honeychild music concert, and just 5 to 10, I believe, is the correct time. So that's going to be awesome. The other thing I wanted to do is bring a gift tonight. And Squire Gill and Squire Blackford already have their copy. But just recently, I was able to present with the University of Kentucky Department of Landscape Architecture at a statewide conference for professional landscape architects. And one of the things that they have presented and put together as part of this 3.5-year grant, actually it's more like 4 years now, the Sustainability Challenge grant, is a complete booklet about the entire project, which it was a $42,000 grant to the University of Kentucky Landscape Architecture Department. And so I have for each of you who have been such wonderful supporters here from the Fiscal Court a copy of this, because it really tells the story of the work not only of UK Landscape Architecture, but of the Friends of Huntertown, of people on the Fiscal Court, of the support of the entire community in Versailles and Woodford County, and of course of our Parks and Rec Department and all that they've done to further this project. So I want to give these to you. Now you need to read them later and pay attention during the meeting. But you can pass that down to me. That's right. Please enjoy. And
Pretty impressive.
And Sue, I just want to take the opportunity to thank the friends and every volunteer and all those who work at Huntertown Community Interpretive Park. It's community-supported efforts like these that just show how great Woodford County is, that we work together on so many different things, and in many communities where these things may not be, the vision may not be there, or there may even be controversy around things like this, that we embrace it wholeheartedly and build it up and build it for not only the honoring the African American Freetown that was there and the history, but planning for the future as a community together.
Absolutely, and we've been so honored to be recognized by the Kentucky Landscape Architecture Society, as well as the Kentucky Heritage Council. We were featured as a presenter at the recent Historic Preservation Conference in Newport, and there's just lots of opportunities. We've been asked to participate in the first annual Freedom Day Fest at Camp Nelson National Monument. So just a lot of great opportunities that showcase the commitment of Woodford County to this park and to this idea of telling the full story of American history. So thank you again for your support. If you have any questions about the report, please reach out. And thanks again for approving those grants to save you money. Thanks.
Thanks, Sue. You're more than welcome to be excused.
Okay, thank you. Have a great evening.
Once an educator, always an educator. Thank you, Ms.
We're
Fitter.
here.
Can I just say, Judge, those applying for these grants is no small task, and Sue puts so much time and effort into that. She's even gone to workshops to be able to write the grants for it. So thank you, Sue.
She's probably teaching there too, probably showing them how to do it.
Learn it.
Thank you, Squire Gill.
Take care.
Thank you, Sue. We had a request for the Iron Horse Marathon event. That's not till October, but their presenter couldn't be with us, so that request will come back for us. But I'd encourage folks to do some research on that. That's a big reoccurring event in the community that we will now be presented with approval. We have a request from the maintenance supervisor to seek quotes from contractors for the work related to the stage rebuild at the Woodford Theater due to no bids being received. Can I have a motion to authorize that? Motion by Squire Downey, second by Squire Brown. Does anybody have any questions for Director Wade? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And the motion carries. And Rick is busy getting to work and make sure that our courthouse looks patriotic for 4th of July. If anybody has any questions about his big plans for the courthouse, I encourage them to get with him. He's got some big plans, and I love it. Thank you, Director Wade. Does any other department or agency have a report for the court? Seeing none, moving on to general orders and unfinished business. I will have this has been a good timing, but I have reappointed Sue Finney to the Parks and Recreation Board for a 4-year term. So I'd entertain a motion to accept that recommendation from the fiscal court. Motion by Squire Brown, second by Squire Taylor. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. That motion carries. For our next meeting, I will have a board appointment for the recommendation for the Library Board of Trustees and the Woodford County Fire Protection Board. So that'll be before you next meeting. We have the claims, the bills to be paid are before you. Are there any questions or comments on any of the bills to be paid? Are there any objections to any of the bills to be paid? Seeing no objection, I'll approve the bills to be paid without objection. We do need to approve the claim from Southern Communications in the amount of $972.74 and the Bachman Auto Group in the amount of $57,706 using Sheriff's Office asset forfeiture funds. Motion? Motion by Squire Gentry, second by Squire Taylor. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. As I mentioned at our last meeting, when we take these motions to ratify email list, you'll get that list of email approvals to be ratified, and we will ratify those in one motion which will cover all of the ratifications. Seeing as you've already approved these via email, it shouldn't be any issues, but if there's any individual item you would like to pull out and discuss, ask questions about whatever, you're always welcome to do that. But this is similar to what legislative bodies would call a consent order. Squire Taylor, you recognize consent actions where basically it's been approved, there's unlikely to be questions, and so we approve them all at once. So we have the additional bill list of May 28, 25. We have the EMS equipment bid approval for Stryker in the amount of $40,000 and the approval letter of the AOC for non-recurring roof repairs. I need a motion to ratify those email approvals as presented.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Taylor, second by Squire Gentry. Are there any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And that motion carries. Just for your information, that will be reflected as individual motions passed on our minutes. Moving on to the transfers, I need a motion to approve. Same. Motion by Squire Brown, second by Squire Taylor. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. I need a similar approval of the personnel order. Motion by Squire Gentry, second by Squire Gill. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. I need a motion to approve the tenant lease between the Fiscal Court and Andrew Marsh for 1-year renewal term upon the authorization and approval of the county attorney and the judge executive. Motion by Squire Blackford, second by Squire Brown. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. Moving on to new business, we need to approve the KCO All Lines Fund Renewal Option 2 in the amount of $365,539 for fiscal year 25-26. Motion by Squire Brown, second by Squire Gill. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of the All Lines renewal, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries. We need to do the same for our workers' comp renewal. That is a workers' comp renewal option 2 in the amount of $382,500 for the fiscal year 25-26. Motion by Squire Carl. Second by Squire Gentry. Seeing no questions, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. Finally, we must approve the 2023 tax audit for the sheriff's office as presented. Motion by Squire Carl.
Second.
Second by Squire Gill. All those in favor of approving same, please vote signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you to Deputy Fugate and our sheriff's office for all that they are doing. Madam Clerk, we moved through that pretty quickly. So this is what I'm going to propose that we do if there are no objections. We'll go through our announcements, and then we will take up the executive session pursuant to potential property acquisition, KRS 61810, subsection 1B. We will go into a closed session following our announcements. If there are no objections from the court to do same. Seeing none, magistrates, I'll start with Squire Kelly Carl. Thank you. Squire Gentry.
Nothing, thank you.
Squire Taylor.
Just to remind the rest of the court and the judge about the joint conference, Magistrates Commissioners and Judge Executives Association conference tomorrow and Thursday. I hope to see as many folks as can make it.
Thank you, Squire Taylor. Squire Brown, sir.
Nothing, Judge. Thank you.
Squire Gill.
Nothing.
Squire Blackford. Squire Downing.
Two things, Judge. This Thursday, there's Nights on Main and the Versailles concert series. And then there's a Woodford County Job Fair Monday, June 23rd at the Woodford County Library from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Thank you, Squire Downing. Squire Varner, sir.
Nothing, Judge. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. County Attorney.
No, but thank you, Judge.
I have nothing. The Woodford Sun before we adjourn to executive session. Excuse me.
I will just point out just as we did with Black History Month, just like we did with Breast Cancer Awareness Week, we are celebrating LGBTQ plus Pride Month this month at the Woodford Sun. So there's a particular logo. It's on our front page if you missed last week's. And every week there'll be a particular item celebrating that community in Woodford County. Last week's was a column by me which talked about the adoption of the Fairness Ordinance by Midway, and then 4 years later by Versailles and Kent. So read the Woodford Sun.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
Mr. Woodford Sun. I would entertain a motion to go into executive session pursuant to KRS 61810-1B, potential property acquisition. Motion by Squire Gentry, second by Squire Brown. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. I would invite the members of the fiscal court, the court clerk, the county attorney, the assistant county